Okay, first I'd like to say we are not public speakers. We are in animal welfare, so we are a little nervous, but we'll do just fine. I would like to first introduce my team. I am Emily, I'm the director. And this is Courtney, she's our manager. This is Krista, she's our customer service. And then this is Chloe, she's a Kennel Tech 2. And then Jeremy and Brittany are not here, but they're Kennel Tech 1s. So we're going to talk a little bit about operations. We're open to the public 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 4 p.m. And then on Saturdays, we're open from 10 to 2. We are closed on Thursdays. That's the day that we utilize to take all of our animals to the vet. And Courtney and I normally do that, and we spend a significant amount of time at the vet's office. We normally don't get done until somewhere around 9 or 10 at night, so we gave up all of our vet appointments today so that we could come here and put on this presentation. We do encourage appointments just to better manage time, so we have a very small staff, so it does help us be able to spend more time with families and get them introduced to animals. But if people come in on a walk-in basis, we do not turn them away. We also work with people on an as-needed basis, so if their schedules do not work, we've had people come in on Thursday evenings to pick up dogs that have been spayed and neutered. Saturdays, after hours, before hours, we do let people come in if they need to. So unlike many shelters in the area, we take in all sorts of animals, including birds, livestock. We've had a fish. We've had all kinds of animals. So that's just some pictures of some of the animals we've had. We've had parrots, we've had finches, we've had a zillion pigs, horses, donkeys, you name it, we get it. This is just talking about our operations. So we work really diligently to reduce the stress on the animals while they're staying with us at the shelter. So that's why we limit kennel areas to just shelter staff. So dogs become very overstimulated in the kennel area with unfamiliar people walking through. They don't really present well in the kennel environment. They're jumping on the gates, they're barking, they're growling, they're hovering in their kennels. They're just very stressed out in that environment. It also reduces public risk, like slip and fall. People like to stick their fingers in gates, tell us that dogs bit them, so that limits the public risk. It also helps us try to control disease spread. And then when we have meet and greets, we conduct them with a shelter member. We have like a team member pull a dog out, go out into the lobby. If it's a nice day and it's not pouring down rain, we go out into the play yard, out into the greeting pen. We advise people to bring their own dogs so that we can do meet and greets, make sure it's a good match. So we do require appointments for intake because as you see, we get buckets and contraptions and cages just full of animals. And if we did not limit intake to appointment only, we would just be bombarded and we would literally be euthanizing hundreds of animals a month. There's just no way around it. So we do require appointments for surrender of owned animals. These are previous year shelter statistics. We went back and pulled 2015, 16, and 17. You can see the intake numbers of dogs and cats, and you can see the amount of animals that were euthanized was very significant. And so we've worked really hard to reduce those numbers. So here's our 2019 shelter statistics. I came on board in July of 2019, and you can see we had a live outcome rate of 89.9% in the last half of 2019. In 2020, we had a 95.8% live outcome. You can see that we're doing adoptions. We have unfortunately had to euthanize some animals. We're doing return to owners, transferring to rescues. And in 2021, we had a 95.3% live outcome. Also did a lot of return to owners, adoptions, transfers to rescue. 2022, those stats are through the end of May. We've already taken in 790 animals this year, which is very significant for a shelter our size. We've done 141 adoptions as of the end of May, but we did 6 adoptions on Tuesday, 6 dogs. We had 2 adopted Wednesday. We've got a lot of meet and greets set up for tomorrow and Saturday. So we have euthanized 32. We've had a lot of sick and injured cats come in that we've had to unfortunately euthanize. We've returned 127 to owner, and we've sent 503 to rescue. So far this year, we're at 96.4% live outcome. And the national standard for a no-kill shelter is 10% or less. So we are significantly under the 10% threshold. Euthanasia. Unfortunately, we do have animals that come in that we do have to euthanize at times because it is the kindest thing that we can do for them if they're suffering beyond repair, or animals that have significant behavior issues that we just cannot fix in a shelter environment. Our euthanasia rates at the shelter have been below 5% since 2020. And since I have been with the shelter, I came in July of 2019, we have purchased 5 bottles of Fatal Plus, which is the euthanasia solution that we use. We've only used 2.5 of those bottles. I was able to pull up records from February of 2011 to September of 2017, which is 6.5 years. They purchased and used 200 bottles of Fatal Plus. And each bottle will euthanize 40 50-pound dogs. So there's a lot of euthanasia solution in the bottle. So these are some shelter goals: to be proactive and get the homeless and unwanted animal population under control. That's our main goal. We want to be proactive. You know, we want to help the citizens. We're really focusing hard on spaying and neutering. If someone brings us a litter of puppies, we ask them, "Where's mom?" "Oh, well, I have her, but I can't afford to get her spayed." "Well, let us help you." And so we find sponsorship money and we take the dog to the vet, we get the dog spayed, return it back home the next day, because we can't just continuously take litters from the same families over and over. There's so many in need. We assist owners in keeping their pets in their home. We have owners call us for food, litter, that sort of stuff, and if we have an abundance of it that we get donated, we dole that out to owners to try to help them keep their pets in their home. We work really hard to educate the public on positive pet ownership. And then we work really hard to find homes for the animals in our shelter through adoption and rescue. Okay, this is our from incoming to outgoing procedures. So when an animal enters the shelter, we begin assessment immediately. We're looking for injuries, we're looking for medical ailments, we're looking for illness. If the animal's healthy, we vaccinate, we heartworm test if they're age appropriate. We start deworming regimens, we rid them of fleas and ticks. If they're in bad shape, we bathe them, we get them all cleaned up. And then if the animal has health concerns, we immediately get in contact with our vet to see what recourse we have. If it's too bad for us to handle in the shelter, then we immediately start working to secure a rescue. And if the vet suggests euthanasia, then obviously we will euthanize. So we try to get those animals out very quickly that have medical issues. We do treat them as necessary in the shelter, but as everybody knows, we can't absorb a large amount of medical bills, so we do have to transfer some of those animals out. It just talks about common illnesses that we are subjected to because we're bringing animals in from all kinds of environment with little to no vetting. Parvo in puppies, panleukopenia in cats, kennel cough. I mean, there's lots and lots of different zoonotic diseases that shelters are susceptible to. So we try to get those animals out quickly. Knowing our shelter animals. So during their stay at our shelter, our staff works very diligently to assess the animals. We do behavioral assessments. We try to figure out their likes and dislikes, if they're good with kids, cats, other dogs. We encourage people when they do meet and greets to bring their pets, bring their kids. We had a lady bring a pig the other day to meet a dog. They have a little house pig, and so she ended up adopting her. She got to go home, so that was pretty cool. But we do a lot of temperament testing. Courtney and I stay after many, many days so that we can get photos and videos, and we try to be very transparent with our adopters and with our rescues. When dogs come in under socialized, we get a lot of pack dogs. We just had 2 packs at once, so we had 12 feral dogs and 9 feral dogs from different areas. A lot of shelters would euthanize them because they just don't have, I mean, we're shelters, we don't have a lot of resources to handle that, but our staff worked very diligently with these animals, and out of all of those, we only had to euthanize 2 for behavioral. We were able to get the rest adopted and into rescue. So the knowledge about our shelter animals, like I said, is imperative that we're transparent with our adopters and with our rescue groups, and we build that trust and those relationships so that we are setting our animals up for a great transition and a great relationship with their new families. These are just some pictures of Courtney working with dogs. Like I said, we spend a lot of time with dogs. Some of those are long-term dogs that we worked really diligently on, and they all got to leave. This is just a little bit about our adoption process. So all animals that are available for adoption, we do list on the county website and the Facebook page. We're working on getting the Pet Finder back up and running. Apparently Walker County used to have a Pet Finder, so I'm working with Pet Finder to get that back up and running so that we can get them out there. It's just more publicity for the animals. Adoptable cats are fully vetted and ready to leave that day. So we take them, get them vetted, and put them in the adoptable cat room. You can come in and view them. Staff will help you, and you get to pick your cat out that day. Some dogs are pre-vetted, some are not. If they are, they can go home same day, but if they're not, we hold them, get them spayed or neutered that Thursday. Adopters can pick up the following Friday. So vetting includes spay, neuter, microchip, age-appropriate vaccines, deworming, heartworm test for of-age dogs. We do spend a lot of time with our potential adopters. We answer a lot of questions for them. We talk to them about our animals. We're very transparent. We allow and encourage meet and greets, like I said, with the dogs that they currently have in their home. We want to make sure they get along before we send them home and have a big catastrophe. And we just noted that adopters do play a very vital role in the success of the shelter. We do enjoy spending time with them, speaking with them, and our favorite part is when we get follow-ups about our shelter alumni. We get a lot of messages on Facebook, a lot of emails, videos, pictures of them with their kids in the floor, rolling around, out in the woods, doing stuff. So that's really encouraging to our shelter staff to get those updates. Here's some of our adoptions. As you can see, people that have been to the shelter, they've adopted. Some of them are the dogs in their new homes. There's kids, there's older people. There's a variety of people that are coming to adopt from us. Here's some more adoptions that we've done. These are just some pictures that we've pulled of adopters and their new pets. And this is just going to touch a little bit on transporting, shelter, and rescue partnerships. So the amount of animals that we're receiving from Walker County obviously cannot be absorbed back into our own community. I mean, we're not the only county that's having these issues right now. Every county is jam-packed full, begging for adopters, begging for fosters, begging for rescues. Lots of counties have purchased their own transport vans, are moving dogs that way, dogs and cats, because we just can't absorb them in our community. They're coming in faster than we can send them out. So we have established several partnerships with rescues and shelters in northern states that have open space for animals, and they have adopters that are waiting for these animals. So they have really strict spay-neuter laws. They have anti-tethering laws. You can't just let your dogs run at large. You don't see that when you go up there. There's not dogs on chains. There's not dogs in the streets. You just don't see it. So they have a lot more space and resources than we have. And so a lot of times when we pull up, they have just groups of people that just swarm the van. They can tell you. Chloe, Courtney, we've all seen it. The first time I ever went on a transport up north and I pulled up, they were cheering. They were so excited. They couldn't wait for us to unload those dogs. I mean, they just bombard you. So it's really exciting to see. Some of the costs are reimbursed by the receiving groups for transport costs, vetting costs, and all that money goes back into Walker County. They send us a check. We deposit that straight into the Walker County General Fund. So this just talks about how we align ourselves with rescue groups that have the same core values as us, and spay-neuter is one of the big ones. So if we send our animals out to rescue groups that say do contracts, they send out puppies that aren't spayed and neutered, and then they don't follow up on those contracts, then those puppies are coming back into shelters as adults with puppies in tow. And that just completely defeats the purpose of what shelters are trying to achieve in 2022 and moving forward. So our partner rescue groups play a vital role in helping save the lives of adoptable animals that come into our care that are sick and injured. The animals shelter is not able to absorb the cost of vet and medical care like I mentioned earlier. So they can treat some of the more serious cases because they can fundraise and do the things that we can't do. Our partner rescue groups help alleviate the cost by assuming possession of the animal. So once they take that animal, we're out of the game. We're not liable for it. We are totally out of it, and they get to absorb all of the liability. So several partner rescue groups also transport. We work with a lot of rescues that have transport vans, and they are transporting just as fast as they can. We're all just trying to get them out of the shelters and into the best possible areas. We also have relationships with other shelters in Georgia. So we work with a handful of other shelters in Georgia. I have a lot of good friends that are shelter directors, and those partnerships are very vital. We transport together, we share our knowledge, we support each other in our roles. It's just very imperative to have those relationships with each other. And without these partnerships, the majority of the homeless animals would pass away. They would be euthanized because we can't do it without each other. It's a huge collaboration and group effort. These are some of our dogs that have gone north. The dog on the top left came in. He was a bait dog, and he was completely in terrible shape. And we rehabilitated him, and as you can see, there's a puppy at the fire department, and then that lady adopted a dog that had sat with us for a really long time, and nobody around here was interested in him, so we sent him north, and he got adopted straight off the transport van. This is what it looks like when we transport. So you can see our vans loaded down. We've got all of our dogs ready to go. The top left picture is people surrounding the van, pulling dogs off the van. They're excited to get their new Fosters. This is some of our team. So one of our rescue partners has been very, very good to us. I've worked with her for a very long time, and we've transported a lot beside each other, and that's our two vans sitting at a gas tank, fueling up, getting ready to come back home from a transport. And then that bottom picture is Andrew from Madison Oglethorpe County that we work with, and then Jeff from Floyd County, one of my biggest partners in sheltering, and then there's Courtney and me, and Rebecca was Jeff's rescue coordinator. All right, so donations. We have a lot of community members that donate to the shelter, whether it be monetary, whether it be supplies. We greatly appreciate their donations. We get a lot of donations from our own community. We also have a lot of rescues and nonprofits that donate to our shelter. We receive huge donations of food, treats, toys, bedding, cleaning supplies, medications, things that alleviate our county from having to make big purchases. They are so supportive of us and what we're doing that they are just bringing in the donations like a lot of times more than we can handle. So we start doling it out to other shelters or the public, whoever's in need. The donations offset a lot of shelter costs that we don't have to spend on basic supplies and necessities. So here, this is what it looks like when we come back from transports. These are our vans loaded down with so much supplies. I'm just thankful we don't have to go over the scales because I don't know if we can make it. Our rescues are very, very good to us. Community service and outreach. So since I came on in 2019, we've worked with citizens to assist with low cost and or free spay neuter through multiple animal welfare organizations. A lot of times if a rescue group takes our puppies, they'll pay to have mom and dad spayed and neutered. Even if daddy belongs to the neighbor down the street, they'll get in contact with them, neuter dad. The shelter has assisted many citizens with dog and cat food, cat litter. A lot of people are on limited incomes and they will call us and say, hey, I can't make it to the end of the month, can you help us? And we say, yep, come on, we'll give you what you need. In 2022, we were the recipients of a vaccine grant provided to vaccinate public animals against very serious diseases. It cost nothing to the citizens. We've done 3 very successful vaccine clinics. At those public vaccine clinics, we have microchipped a lot of animals. We only charge $10 to microchip, and we've had a lot of people participate. We did have a lot of people that couldn't afford a microchip, so we sponsored that, and we got those animals microchipped just because we don't want them coming in and us never being able to get them back home. And we were also able to recruit a lot of people for free spay neuter. So they're spaying and neutering a lot of animals that we met at the microchip clinics. So, like I said earlier, when people bring in puppies and kittens, we ask them, where's mom, where's dad, do you have any other animals in the house? And then we recruit them and get them spayed and neutered so we don't ever have to go through that process again. And that helps us help other citizens in need. This is just some pictures from the microchip clinic. These are some dogs that came and visited us. The little black dog in the red car, that was his 3rd clinic that he had been to, so he got fully vaccinated. He's ready to go. So this just talks about how we are changing lives. Our shelter team values each and every animal's life that comes through our doors. We love and care for them as if they were our own pets, because after all, the shelter is our second home. We take pride in the jobs that we have been entrusted to do, and we hold the welfare of the animals at our shelter to the highest standard and vow to do what is in the best interest of each animal. So the next slides are just some before and afters. That puppy was surrendered to us in that condition. My whole team cried. And we just started working immediately. We sent it to a neonatal puppy rescue, and that is what she looks like now. The other dog came in via animal control as a stray. That is what he looks like now after sending him off to rescue. There's Champ. Champ is living the life on Long Island. He came in severely, severely neglected, and now you see he's wearing his winter coat. He's got several dog and brother sisters, and then the other dog in the top corner, he was presumed to be a bait dog in a dog fighting ring, and he was in very bad condition. And now he lives with another one of our shelter alumni on Long Island. So that's them on the bed. And then this was a neglect case that we worked. Animal control brought us several dogs, and that's just one of many. And we sent her to rescue, and she cost them thousands of dollars to save her life. But as you see now, happy, healthy, has a great family. We get updates on them. And then these two pictures, we personally know the little boy on the left. His mom fosters dogs in Pennsylvania for one of our rescue groups. Super nice family. They have fostered many. The picture on the right, that was a dog that we had named Liberty. We sent her to rescue. She was adopted, and we get updates on her all the time, and that picture had millions of shares on Facebook. It went viral. So it was really cool. We got a lot of recognition from that picture. But that's how we operate. That's what we're doing, and that's how we're changing lives for animals in Walker County.